thought leaders are well known for being forward-thinking, go-to leaders and experts within a particular niche. Lexie here, founder of THEPRBAR Inc. And today I'm going to talk about 10 places and ways to self-publish to build thought leadership. Now, why are we talking about thought leadership today? Well, all of a sudden, we're all at home, kind of twiddling our thumbs, trying to figure out what the heck to do for our business. One thing that you can be doing right now is thinking about and working towards building thought leadership in a niche. A lot of people are online right now, so it's getting harder and harder to stand out. Developing thought leadership is one way to cut through that clutter. So before we get into the 10 ways and places, first I want to address some questions that you can ask yourself. First up, what do you want to be known for? Okay, that's the first question I want you to ask yourself. And honestly, the more specific you can be, the easier it will be to stand out. So again, first question, what do you want to be known for? Second question, who is already an expert in this niche? Now, I'm not asking this because I'm saying there's only room for one person. No, absolutely not. But it will be very wise for you to understand who already has achieved thought leadership status in your niche. Okay, think about ways that they've done it and think about how you're different, which goes into my third question, which is, what makes you uniquely qualified on this topic? What makes you different from everyone else out there? What have you experienced? What is in your repertoire that allows you or enables you to be an expert in this niche or field? Fourth question is, start to think about, what is your objective for developing a thought leader status? Is it just because you're bored? Is it just because you want everyone to know your name? Maybe. Or maybe it's because eventually you want to push them into some sort of client or sale. So think about what your objective is for developing thought leadership status. And while you're doing that, then start thinking about what topics that you can write about that relate to that objective. Okay, so those are the first 5 questions I want you to think about. Now, we're going to go into the 10 different places and ways that you can self-publish to build thought leadership. So first I want to talk about why self-publish. Well, self-publishing is great because oftentimes it can be free, and second, there's a less barrier to entry, right? This isn't you pitching to get featured somewhere. This is you taking it upon yourself to self-publish. All right, without further ado, let's get into these 10 ways. Some of them I'm sure you've heard of, some of them might be new. First one, and I've seen this done very successfully by a lot of people, is they start building their thought leadership by publishing articles to LinkedIn. So I'm sure a lot of you are on LinkedIn. There is the ability to actually publish articles. That's one way. Another way, if you already have a website, that's a super easy place to self-publish, is your blog. Again, you might know some of these. As we get later in the deck, you might not. So your blog. Another place, if you're looking to produce or write articles yourself that you can self-publish, is a site called Thrive Global, thriveglobal.com. So it is owned by the Huffington Post, and you can get an account and you can self-publish articles on this platform. Similar to thriveglobal.com, there is Medium.com. Very similar platform. You can self-publish articles. You can also create self-published magazines on this platform. So if you take to writing a lot and you have a lot of categories, you can develop a magazine page. I know a popular one is called Authority Magazine. Well, that's hosted on the Medium platform. So medium.com. Another thing you can do, there's tons of free resources and platforms out there that enable you to create an ebook. That's a great way. Become an author. Author equals thought leader. Kind of more on the academic route. Again, you can publish your own white paper. If you don't know what a white paper is, Google it, comment below. More than happy to talk about it. Another place you can self-publish to begin building thought leadership is you can self-produce a podcast. Okay, these are huge right now. Yesterday I was live with Christine O'Donnell from Bright Sided Media, and there are more than 100 million Americans listening to podcasts monthly. So if you haven't considered that, consider it, because that's a huge viewership. The next place you can self-publish is, if you want to get into the video world, is obviously YouTube. Now, quick comment, I know that TikTok is very up and coming. Full transparency, I am not an expert. All I've seen are little dance videos, but perhaps this is something to keep on your radar. This might be utilized more and more down the road, but similar YouTube. Another place that's really popular and easy to access is Instagram Live, and IGTV. I just started dabbling in this myself, so that's another place you can go to self-publish. Similar, you can, just like I'm doing, go on Facebook Live and Facebook. And then this last way is, I have a little asterisk next to it, because the 9 other things I've talked about, there's no barrier to entry. You can post and you're published, assuming that you don't get flagged for inappropriate content. This next way is easier than pitching to get featured, but there still is a wall or a barrier to entry, and that's guest posting. So you can guest post on other small businesses' websites, or you can apply to become a guest post contributor on larger sites such as Forbes, Inc. magazine, most places actually accept guest posts. So these are 10 different places and ways to self-publish, to build thought leadership. I'm sure there's a ton more, but this should give you enough to get started. For those of you watching the replay, if you have any questions, you want to know about any of the platforms I mentioned today, feel free to reach out. If you'd like to brainstorm one-on-one about how you can further develop your thought leadership, please never hesitate to reach out. Otherwise,